Hey you, it's me. And I am disappointed in having to say this, but I think that Dylan Mulvaney is a gay man pretending to be a woman for money and for fame. And I think that's it. I have always suspected because his act is very performative, and he can give all the excuses he wants and says, oh, you're just very transphobic, and which I'm not. And, oh, well, you just don't understand. And I don't completely understand because I am not, I'm not gay and I am not trans. But what I do understand is being a tomboy, and I still am, and I'm in my 50s. That part I understand, and thank God I haven't been born in this era where they probably would have tried to convince me that I was trans, even though I'm not. Anyway, this is what I came up with. Now, I did more research than this particular answer, let me make clear. But this one seemed to really encompass all the important points. And what it is, how do you inject estrogen? Myself. It says remove the needle cap, grasp 4 to 5 inches of the muscle between your thumb and first finger, inject the hormones by inserting the needle at a 90-degree angle and push the plunger. And it said the most common location for injection in the fat is the stomach and the outer thigh. And I thought about that because I saw the video where Dylan was, in my opinion, pretending to inject himself. He did it at his waist. He pinched some skin at his waist and put the injection in. He also said that he hated needles, but it's important for him to do this. But he didn't inject it in the right spot. Now, could there be the possibility that he does it a different way because of his body type or something? I mean, yes, that's always a possibility. But it didn't look like, he also covered himself when he was quote unquote injecting himself. And there have been also people saying that the needle was wrong, that it's what he had was for sucking in things, not pushing out things. Now, I don't know the difference between any of these things. So to me, this is just hearsay. It could be all blather. None of it could be real. But when I read up on, how somebody who is trans takes their estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone blocker, he could do it. He said he hated needles. He could do it with pills. Now, I did read that the pills might be more dangerous to take, so that is certainly a consideration. But I know if I were taking 3 medications, I'd probably want to take them all by pill, just because of the ease of it, just because I don't like needles either. I would do needles if I had to, but probably not if I had a choice. Although they did say that a needle is safer if you're over the age of 35, which he isn't, as far as I'm aware. I think he's maybe 30 or 27 to 30. I'm not really sure. But the way that he did that, and I'm saying he now, looked very phony to me. I've seen people inject themselves. Usually I see them do it in the stomach area. And it's not gross or anything. It's if you're a little squeamish, seeing a needle like slide into somebody's kind of ewy, but it's not gross or anything. It's just sticking the needle in, injecting, and you're done. I've seen it with people who were on Ozempic. I've seen it with people who were diabetic. And I've seen people who have taken hormones, and I've always seen them do it in the thigh or more towards the butt area. And honestly, I just don't believe Dylan anymore. And I don't want to offend anybody. That's not my thing, because I really wanted to believe that Dylan was truthful and honest. But I think this is just a grift. I'm convinced now, my opinion, allegedly, this is just a grift. And it makes me really mad. He's lost some followers, I think like 1 million followers. He still has like 10, so a million, I guess, doesn't seem like much. But I always said that he seemed more like a he than a she, and I constantly corrected myself because I want to be nice. But I don't think he's a she. I think he's a he, and this is just a grift that worked for him, because he's done a lot of other things. They just didn't take off like this did, and I think it's because people honestly and sincerely wanted to know what it's like, and he was doing like a day-to-day thing on it, what it would be like to be a trans person. And I think so many people wanted to respect him and let him know that he's okay and he's good, and they'll respect his pronouns, etc. But I think it's just a grift. I don't think he's taking hormones. That's my opinion. That's not fact. But I think him performing taking hormones, he should have at least performed it correctly. Just by virtue of where he was pinching the skin to take it. I think he's just a grifter, and I think more and more people are starting to come to the realization that maybe he's not as trans as we thought he was. I don't think he's trans at all. I really don't. And it's upsetting to me, because I was willing to embrace him. I was happy to embrace him. I have people in my life that I've embraced, people online that I enjoy. I wouldn't call them friends, but but you know, people that I watch like on YouTube or I talk to on Facebook that I really enjoy. I honestly, I'm really sad because I wanted him to be real. I don't think he is. I think I thought it was really cool that he kept his name Dylan. I don't think it was because he was cool. I think it's because he's just a gay man pretending. And I don't know, I guess the closest you could call is a drag queen, but I don't even think he's a drag queen, because he always says girlhood. He never says womanhood. And if you look at drag queens, at least most of the ones I've seen, they're dressed like women. And they are exaggerated women, but that's part of the fun of it. But they're dressed like women. They're not dressed like little girls. And he's done videos where he's pretending to be a little girl, and that's kind of disturbing. I always thought that was a little disturbing and distressing, but I just tried to think, well, you know, he's doing his thing. He's got a theater background. You know, that's what I thought. I don't think that anymore. And the fact that he got quote-unquote facial feminization surgery, I don't think that's what he got. Because if you look at a lot of rich people, and a friend of mine pointed this out, a lot of rich people have surgeries on their face. Not to be more feminine, but just to stay looking young. And I think it's probably more likely that he just did it because he wanted to look young, and certainly it played into his whole grift of, in my opinion, of being trans. But yeah, a lot of people have plastic surgery. You don't have to be 50 to have plastic surgery. You don't have to be 20 to have plastic surgery. You can be of any age and have plastic surgery. And I think maybe that's just what he did. He had plastic surgery in order to stay youthful. And I don't think it had anything to do with feminizing his face. Does his face look a little more feminine? I don't know. I can't really tell. Without makeup, he just looks like a dude. With makeup, I mean, makeup can hide a lot of flaws. That's the whole point of makeup, really. So I don't know, but I don't think he did it to be more feminine. I think he just did it because he had a lot of money and he could. My opinion. And this whole video is my opinion. But it just disturbs me. It's upsetting to me because I really wanted to believe that he was real and that, you know, it's like, oh, here is the definition of a trans woman. How wonderful. We can all look at this and appreciate it. But that's not what it is, in my opinion. That's not it. He's just pretending to be a girl in the most surface ways. And it's kind of disgusting. And yeah, I don't like it. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say.